These are this afternoon's top stories. First national consultation in CBI program underway. Barbados customs officers protest against a merger with the Revenue Authority. And violence in El Salvador escalates. Good afternoon and welcome to ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Thursday, 30th July 2015. I'm Kyla Berridge. In national news, the first national consultation on the Citizenship by Investment program got underway this morning, guided by the theme, The Way Forward Through Collaboration. In his remarks, Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Osbert D'Souza, asked stakeholders to offer suggestions and recommendations to get the program back on course. Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, said the program is too important to ignore, adding that it requires careful management. He described it as the oldest and best in the region. The first national consultation on the CBI program continues with presentations by a service provider and an IPSA representative. Stakeholders participated in an open panel discussion headed by Attorney General Honorable Vincent Byron and developers Ron Fish and Gregory Hadmond. It was moderated by Financial Secretary Hilary Hazel. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, has outlined the strategies it will implement to enact its new powers granted by the recently passed Banking Act 2015. In Tuesday's sitting of National Assembly, Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris noted that the new act would give the ECCB the power to intervene and save banks that are suffering due to economic circumstances. On Wednesday evening, ECCB officials hosted a teleconference to update media persons from around the region on details of their strategy to stabilize the banking system. According to a statement, the strategy is made up of two components: a preemptive approach which addresses immediate threats and a long-term structural revamp to prevent future threats to the financial sector. Governor of the ECCB, Sir K. Dwight Venner, led the discussion, answering questions from the ECCU member countries on topics such as constitutional rights, new powers granted by the new act, and citizenship by investment programs. Tune in to tonight's newscast, where Governor Venner will explain why the ECCB needs to step in, and we'll find out if any local banks will need this type of intervention. During Tuesday's sitting of National Parliament, Government Senator Honorable Wendy Phipps described the Banking Bill 2015 as vital. She said it safeguards operational procedures governing the banking sector in the 8 member states of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS. She believes that protecting the financial resources of depositors and enacting the safety and stability of the OECS banking sectors are two of the more noticeable provisions in the Act. She added that the bill gives considerable powers to the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, which is only natural since it is the course of last resort to protect the hard earnings of the people of the region. The 145-page banking bill, which was passed in federal parliament on Wednesday, replaces an 87-page document. A look at news on the regional scene. In Barbados, Executive Director of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, BCCI, Lisa Gale, is calling for a speedy resolution to the impasse between government and customs officers over plans to merge the department with the Barbados Revenue Authority. Customs officers have been on a go-slow for more than a month in protest of the merger. The BCCI says its action has resulted in a shortage of some items. Gale says BCCI has written to the Minister of Industry, the Acting Comptroller of Customs, the Barbados Port Imported, as well as Commissioner of the Barbados Revenue Authority, outlining its concerns.
We've heard from varying sectors, so there's no one sector that has a greater impact versus another sector. But we have had that call from a number of persons. In fact, on Friday, we were also compounded with another challenge as it relates to the recalculation of value-added tax on products. And it seems as though goods that are of CARICOM origin have started being, I don't know if it is incorrectly, but as we stand right now, it looks like an effectual 39.5%. And that is a challenge. So what we've done, we've written to the BRA, and we've also called, we've sought the audience of the Comptroller of Customs as well as the Minister of Industry, and they did commit to looking into it as quick as possible.
In the Bahamas, Minister of State for Finance, the Honorable Michael Halkitis, comments on the Bahamar saga, which appears to be continuing without a resolution. The minister said in the House of Assembly on Wednesday that now is the time to revisit the country's economic model and not allow a single investor to hold the country hostage.
Too easy for governments to be held hostage by various interests that either employ a lot of people or have a large impact on the economy. I believe that recent developments and our recent history, Mr. Speaker, should cause us all to accelerate our thinking towards an inward-looking development strategy, Mr. Speaker, where we look inward to source, to pool, and to deploy capital, whether local or foreign, Mr. Speaker, to develop the islands of the Bahamas in a sustainable manner, both in terms of economics and in terms of the environment.